Well, the Washington Redskins have won 2 in a row. A lot of you are very happy. A lot of you are sad because you feel like the defense isn't doing well. Well, they're not. But they're giving the ball back to the offense enough for them to win. So today on Tony McGee's Pro Football Plus, if you're a real fan, you watch. If you're not, put the women, the children, and those fans to bed because it's going to get ugly. Hit it.
Set! Red 97!
Did you say 97?
Yes.
You know, that reminds me of Geico's 97% customer satisfaction rating.
97%?
Helped by Geico's fast and friendly claim service.
Oh yeah, baby. Geico's as fast and friendly as it gets.
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
Well, we have to definitely look at ways to stop the run and find out where the holes are. I think a lot of it has to do with Cleveland. They have Antonio and Joe Thomas have a good running game. Crowell and Duke Johnson have a good scheme over there. So you got to give credit to them, but then we have to figure out where we're coming up short. Is it missing tackles at the second level? Is it getting off blocks? Does it getting pushed back too much in the double teams? We have to figure out the answer and try to come up with some solutions. But we do have to do better, but if you do give up some runs, we talk about getting the ball out all the time. So we've been preaching, and Joe Barry and staff have done a great job, and the players have forced some key turnovers in critical times. Today was no different.
What we need to do is a step in the right direction. You know, we're very pleased with, like you said, being able to get the win today and get to 2-2, and now we go forward. It's really, you know, the old cliche of one game at a time, try to go 1-0 each week, and that'll never change. So we're happy we went 1-0 this week, and now we focus on Baltimore on the road next week.
Welcome to the show, and as I said in the opening, the Washington Redskins have won 2 games, and we're not really happy because offense has been the reason they've been winning. But sometimes the offense really doesn't look as good as it should look, but they do play well. And guys, just tell me this. Gary, you know better than anybody. When your offense is putting up 20, 25 points a game, you're supposed to win all those games. But it's sometimes, if you could tell me the truth, it's sometimes like on Sunday that they should have killed this team. Cleveland should have never been in the game.
I get it, but if I scored 25 points,
I knew he was going to go after that
if
right
I scored
away.
25 points.
Your defense
more,
better hold.
I'm supposed to win because the defense is supposed to 17 points or less, 18, the offense 18 points or more. That wins football games. Philadelphia is doing that right now. They're dominating. Why? Because their offense is playing well, but their defense is playing better than their offense. Mm-hmm. They're averaging anywhere between 10 to 15 points a game. I started giving up.
But if you take a look at this, and the offensive line, it has to do it because you got the next man up. Their line is getting deeper and deeper now. You got those players coming off the bench that's playing well, and then the running back is getting 100 yards. So right now, offensive line seem to be doing the job for the Redskins.
That's the GM.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Our GM is a beast.
Okay.
He is so
well,
good.
didn't we talk about that? That it was going to take him about 3 weeks to get some tread going, and all of a sudden you got a running game going, you have the passing game going, and you throw to Jackson one time for a completion, but you get 2 long routes down the field.
Yet. That's the beauty
with
of
pass
it.
interference.
Yeah. We're scoring that amount of points, and it's not even going. We're scoring 25-plus points, and we're not even going yet. Mm-hmm. That's a positive things to think about.
Okay, now who did you say Donna was going to throw under the bus? Oh, okay. let's talk about the offense to
Were you
me.
Gonna do that, Donna?
And you get an opportunity. You talk about offensive line, but then that leads to Reed having a great day, and Jones running and catching.
Tony, it started there with Matt Jones because they started that game in Cleveland with him pounding the ball. They went away from it in the second quarter a little bit. They came back in the third and the fourth quarter when it counted more. He had 117 yards. Chris Thompson had 24, and then Kelly, the other person, had 4. So when they run the ball and they committed to the run.
There you go. And you know,
the other person had 4 what?
4 yards.
Why are you even including that in the conversation?
Well, it's part of a catch.
The other person had 4
but
yards.
Jordan Reed,
and that's why that's like a negative thing you're saying.
Yeah,
why are you throwing Kelly under the bus?
Because what it was, I had to call on them. They had to raise their hands in order to speak.
Is that what you did?
But what they're just completely ignoring Jamison Crowder, who really is the unsung hero.
And they opened up the game with him being big. I tell you what, they're going to him more and more. But Reed, he's with Kellen Winslow. Remember that name? He's had more touchdowns than Kellen did, and at this point in his career, and he's a Hall of Famer.
Well, and then they used him a lot. They committed to him because they said that they had to get Jordan Reed more involved. But Tony, in the red zone, 7 times down in the red zone, they scored 4 touchdowns. The first 3 weeks, that 14 times down there, they only scored 3 times. So they really solve some problems out in the red zone by punching it in.
But why are you going back to what they didn't do? The
3 and
last
14,
2 games, what they did.
But it's great things
this
to
is
build
what we're
upon,
talking about.
They still scored 25-plus points without scoring touchdowns.
Exactly.
That means they're moving the ball. They are scoring points because you said they scored points. You meant touchdowns.
They
Not
needed
to correct
touchdowns,
you or
right?
anything, but.
Can I talk about Matt Jones and ask you? Remember when you were saying early on last year he was running high, wasn't lowering his shoulder.
Yes.
He wasn't following his blocks. I saw him following his block yesterday.
Yes, he did.
I saw him lowering his shoulder. I saw him not running high. I saw a new running back.
Well, you did, and you saw him on Sunday. He was really letting the blocks set up and give him an opportunity to cut. He wasn't doing that, and he's also changing and protecting the ball a lot better. But one thing you do like about him, his physicality, and that's what he has as a big running back. But you're right, he's setting up the blocks a lot better now.
Passing game will do that for you.
You didn't mention Kurt, though.
But wait, I thought we said that the running game sets up the passing game. Yeah. So you're saying the passing game makes it, that's what happens.
I'm just saying right now, right now we're more of a passing team than we are a running team. So therefore, the passing game is setting up the run, and that's a good thing. He's producing great now.
The run made the difference.
Overall, we have to say it, the whole offense is really clicking.
Yeah.
And what it is, Kurt, he's stirring the pot, but at the same time, he has good stats. He's doing things that just sometimes.
That don't mean nothing, Tony.
Sometimes they do. They tell you about it.
But the thing about it was some crucial times in that game where he stared the receiver down, and the fact that it's almost like
we knew we would not get through this segment without Donna throwing them up under the bus.
How could she wear these Redskin colors
No,
and
we
say
said that we were going to tell the truth, and he has to still play better.
He's got a great long
The way
ball,
you
though,
throwing
Donna.
people under the bus, I want to ask you one more question. How did you get Reed and Jones to mug for you in the picture?
How did you get
I want
that
to
shot?
find out about that shot.
That is the shot
How did you
of a
get that? You
lifetime.
throwing them under the bus?
I'm not throwing them under the bus. Those are the guys that produce. I said if you put the ball into those 2 guys' hands, they'll make it happen.
Now you heard it here first. She's not throwing them under the bus, but the bus he got tracks on the back of his uniform. We'll be back in a minute, and you tell me what's going on.
You put it on the back.
I tell you, last year you never.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Just like I said, like as a back, you want to get in the rhythm, man. When you get the ball multiple times, you actually get a feel of the game and the feel of how they playing. And it was great for me to experience that, just to get downhill with it. And it was just all fun out there. Once I got going, I just felt great.
We ran the ball well, today, and I think that opened up a lot. Wasn't able to double team as much and things like that. So that was key for us.
Hey, Ricky, great win today. I mean, this defense at the end came through with 3 major turnovers.
We needed them. We overemphasize in practice every day. We need to make turnovers. We need to make turnovers. Our next thing we have to emphasize is making those tackles on good running back. That's a hell of a running back over there. You notice big hits weren't getting them down. Arm tackles wasn't getting them down. Next week we play another good running back. The arm tackles got to start turning into full body tackles, either holding them up and making those tackles. Because that guy over there was killing us. He was killing us with the 10, the 12, the 13. After the first hit, this man get 8 more yards. We can't do that. We can't keep doing that, going through that throughout the season, because we're not going to have a successful season trying to get into the playoff, and we can't stop the run.
But the good thing is we've strung 2 together, and we have a lot of work to do. So, you know, me sitting here thinking it's like we will be that much better once we, you know, continue coming to work every day and working on it. But we have to play better on defense, and turnovers are awesome, but we got to get off the field on 3rd down and stop the run. And fortunately, we're sitting here at 2-2 as at times as horribly as we played.
Well, as you know, in my 14 years in the league, I played defense, and what's happening now, I cannot even back them up. For the simple reason, guys, the defense has got to play better. And I start with missed tackles. They're right in the hole. They have a person there, and they can't do that. Not getting off of blocks. You got to keep your feet moving, playing as a unit. Whenever we used to tackle, you have 2, 3, 4, 5 men there. You don't have one man trying to make the tackle and then he misses it. Overall, this defense is a little better. They got the turnovers, but you take those turnovers away, and I don't know if we won those 2 games.
No, I don't think so.
What I do like about the defense right now, the last 2 weeks, in key moments, they got big plays when they needed to get the big plays.
Josh,
I'm telling you, so I mean, that's what I do like about their defense. They seem to ride to the occasion the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They seem to be like, you know, we need this
But
now.
you know what scares you about that, G? What happened if they didn't?
But they did.
What happened if they did not, though?
But you know, Tony, some of the players was talking about the fact that the problem is with the run, and they were talking about that. I was like, what's going on right there? And they were saying that sometimes they're not in position, meaning that they're grabbing arm-wise, and those players are getting away. And they know that coming up, they're going to face some tougher, you know, running backs and so forth. But when you look at that as far as being out of position just a little bit, that's going to knock them off
but
totally.
That's when one person is out of position. If you gain tackle, you do not have that problem.
Can I
so
ask you a question?
30th in the
Why
NFL.
in the last couple of weeks has the middle looked like the Capitol Beltway with no traffic on it? You can the opposing team can go right up the middle. Foster's sealed off. Compton is sealed off, and you literally have 5 yards of open area. What's going on?
Well, you just answered your question. When they can seal those middle linebackers in a 3-man line and double team the nose guard, you have a problem. Someone has to get off that block. Someone has to make the play.
Some delayed
That's not
draws
happening.
they do too.
But
What'd
you say, G?
Some delayed draws.
Exactly.
That allows that because they're getting back in pass protection, and then
exactly. So it may be schematically, it may be a problem, but at the same time, you got to beat the man in front of you. But a lot of those guys are being double teamed, especially the nose guards. So therefore, those linebackers have to make that play.
They can't afford to give up 133 yards per game, and then facing a Ravens team that likes to run the ball a little bit.
That's the problem. There within lies the problem. You got a physical team coming up that likes to run the ball, and they have a pretty good defense. So what we will see this week, who's going to force their will? This team has to stop the run and get a pass rush.
What about moving Chris Baker to nose tackle?
Seemed like they did that before.
I mean, no, he's playing a little on the outside. They had Ziggy in the middle, but I mean, why not move him? He is a force. I think he's second in the team in sacks. Why wouldn't you move him in the middle?
You lose Carrican maybe this week too with the elbow injury.
Yeah, but you can't move him. If he's playing well at defensive end, the worst thing you can do is maybe put him in there at nose tackle, and then he loses a little of the momentum that he has. Everybody out there is getting paid, right, G?
Without a doubt.
Everybody has a job. Everybody needs to do that job. And that's what's wrong with the defense. They're not playing as a unit. They got one person doing tackling when you should be gang tackling. And everybody, and I know it's every play, you can ask G, he was on offense, you can ask me on defense. My key was to beat the guy in front of me, no matter what it took.
Simplify it.
That's all. You beat the man in front of you.
So who do you really like on defense? When you look at that defense out there, I know that Preston Smith has played well. Who else really?
Trent Murphy.
Trent Murphy. And they talk
Trent
about
Murphy,
him.
he put him in. They put him in there on Sunday, and you look at the last 2 or 3 weeks. He's getting to the passer.
4 sacks.
He made mistakes, but he gets to the passer.
Yeah.
He creates a problem. I like him.
So is it the middle then?
Well, you know,
defense?
you're facing a pretty powerful offense this week. You got to cover Steve Smith Sr., you got to cover Mike Wallace, and you got Perriman. 3 speedsters that you got to deal with.
That's why you have to have a pass rush.
Yeah.
I don't care how good
Number
you
one
can cover.
defense.
I mean, you can look at the defensive line and say they're not getting there, and they do have to blitz a lot. But when you got defensive backs like Josh Norman and everyone, you still need the pass rush. That'll take care of all of that. And game tackling and pass rush will take care of any elements they have.
If you give a receiver time, I don't care how fast or how slow he is, he will get open. If you give me time, I'm eventually going to get open. You cannot cover me when the plays have been extended.
Now, as you know, we weren't supposed to go this far on defense, but I tell you what, we call it like it is because the defense are not playing well. And you guys remember that. One thing they need is pass rush and game tackling. We'll be back in a minute.
Yeah, I was trying to figure this man out. I was figuring him out the whole first half. I was kind of not getting frustrated with myself, but not really like getting down either, just knowing that, okay, my opportunity is about to come. I know it's coming, When that time comes, just got to make sure you execute. And when, you know, came out at halftime, got in a whole nother different place.
When you look at this defense right now, where do you see this defense?
It's just a lot of great guys who we haven't even, peaked yet. So we're doing good football, we're playing good football, and we haven't even peaked yet as a unit. Guys are still, we still getting together, we still figuring things out, and we're trying to maximize our potential. And we're trying to, go out there and, limit the mistakes and have better overall defense.
You talked a little bit about the run, and even last week, this week, that's an area that you would even say need to be improved right now?
Yeah, of course. You don't want no team to feel like they can just run the ball at will on you. We got to stop the ball. We got to take that confidence away in the run game and create more passing situations for ourselves.
What are you doing?
Sarah, I love you.
It's my brother. Keep going.
Sarah, will you marry?
What do you want, Todd?
Keep it going! If you sit on your phone, you butt dial people. It's what you do. If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico. It's what you do.
I know we just met like 2 months ago.
Three facets of the team: offense, defense, special teams. And Mike, you feel like they have 2 Pro Bowl kickers on this team.
Yeah, well, Donna's favorite is Dustin Hopkins, and I'm not going to tell you how many field goals he has.
goes
and I'm
with
not
their
going to
picks.
allude to the fact
Their favorite picks don't work
that he's
out
one of
well
the few
either.
in the league that's perfect. But then you have Tress Way, who's probably the best punter in the league. You potentially have 2 Pro Bowl players right there. And I think they've solved the punt returns with Crowder and the kickoffs with Chris Thompson. They got a good special teams unit on both sides.
And the coverage has been good, too, because last year we talked about they needed to get better with the coverage. they have done that job this year so far.
And how about Crowder? Has he been returning well?
He's having an all-star year all the way around.
I think so. So special teams, we can say one thing about it. They've been probably the most consistent unit on the team.
Without a doubt. Nothing like you, Donald.
No,
For so many years,
true,
they were the
Derek.
nemise. They're not anymore.
Your picks haven't been that great.
It's your defense that's
Where you
causing the
at?
problems.
Oh, why you want to bring the defense back up?
It's your problem.
You're right,
I
but I
want
tell
you
you
to
what,
solve it.
you watch, my defense will win.
Oh, no.
You watch.
Not against the
You
Ravens.
can say
they
what you
won't.
want.
Oh, no.
We know special teams are important, so we had an opportunity to catch up with Lou Holder in tunnel vision. So when we come back after this commercial, I'll tell y'all why the defense is going to win, but listen to what Lou has to say.
Marco Polo! Marco Polo! Marco Polo! Marco Polo! Marco
Sì.
Polo! Marco Polo!
Scusa,
Polo!
ma io sono Marco Polo, ma...
Playing Marco Polo with Marco Polo? Surprising.
Ragazzini, io sono Marco Polo. Sì, sono qui.
What's not surprising? How much money Amanda and Keith saved by switching to Geico.
Ah, Polo. Polo.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Polo.
This week's stat of the week is the Redskins have never beaten the Ravens in Baltimore.
We're back again with Tunnel Vision, and with me this week is Lou Holder, and we're talking a little bit about that big rivalry between the Ravens, and last year it was a little friction when Harbaugh went across the field.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to happen with coaches. Not everybody in the coaching profession likes one another. It's all an alpha male business, it's still the proximity of the teams, so that kind of adds to it. So I think it's good, though. The Ravens just lost their first game. The Redskins needed that win, 2-2. The Redskins got 2 tough games. It's probably it's the birdie two-step, because after that the Eagles. So this schedule, everybody knew once the schedule came out that this was going to be. Not one that had many crevices in it. So they play well up there. The Ravens play well in their building, and the Redskins can't afford to mess around like they did today. They messed around a lot. They actually ended up winning that game.
And
but
also against the Giants.
Absolutely, they messed around a lot, and they got to clean up some stuff seriously, because the Ravens, they play close games. So it's not going to be no 30, 20, whatever. It's going to come down to the end, and this defense and offense better click, because that's going to be a hostile environment next week.
All right, I admit I made a mistake. First time this year. Who would have thought Buffalo beating New England in New England? Man, I'd have never got that one. But I tell you what, this week you're looking at New York Giants going to Green Bay. Green Bay got a little quarterback up there they're talking about called Aaron Rodgers, not playing well. Well, he may not be MVP, but he's one of the best in the game. And they got that 12th man, the fans, up there in Green Bay. The Giants, they're a little bit better, but we'll see how good that defense is this week. So if it were I pick Green Bay all the way.
The Atlanta Falcons are 3-1. This week they'll travel to Denver to take on the 4-0 Broncos. Now, when you look at this Falcons offense, they are smoking. They're ranked #1 in total offense in the NFL, averaging over 400 and some yards. They're #1 in passing and 6th rushing the ball. So this Denver defense has their work cut out. But guess what? They're ranked 4th in total defense in the NFL, #2 against the pass. And in their first 4 games, they faced some pretty good quarterbacks, only allowing 200 yards. So Atlanta, on defense, they're ranked 30th in the NFL. But last week, the Broncos starting quarterback suffered a left shoulder injury. So everybody says that defense wins championships. Well, Atlanta's offense this week, no matter what, I'm picking the Falcons.
So we got the Chargers traveling to Oakland to play the Raiders. The Raiders gave the Ravens their first loss last week. The Chargers, they lost to a winless New Orleans Saints team that can't play any defense. San Diego's in serious trouble this week. Derek Carr should have one of his best games as a pro. Pick the Raiders by a touchdown or more.
You got the guru here, Gary Clark. Let me see. We got Cincinnati traveling into Dallas. I got one thing to say. Dallas will win. Why? Because Prescott wants to make it extremely hard for them to replace him when Romo comes back. So take Dallas by 14. They're going to do it. Prescott. Can't believe I'm saying Dallas is going to win, but they are going to win. Donna Hopkins, you know what you do.
Tony, on the Sports Bar Challenge this week, the New York Giants at the Green Bay Packers. And Crystal City Restaurant 1-3, picking Green Bay. Crystal City Sports Pub 3-1, picking Green Bay. Greavy's Restaurant 3-1, picking Green Bay. Outback Steakhouse 1-3, picking Green Bay. Hard Times Cafe of Fairfax 1-3, picking Green Bay. Harry's Ale House in Fredericksburg 1-3, and they are picking Green Bay. I think people like Green Bay.
Yeah, I tell you what, Green Bay is about time for them to come on. Let's look at our picks this week. I'm 7-8, Donna's 6-9, Gary's 8-7, and Mike is 6-7. We took Houston against Minnesota. We all took Minnesota. Atlanta at Denver. Now, Gary and I feel like Denver. You two feel like Atlanta, so go with Denver, guys. Then you got Cincinnati, Dallas. Mike, you took Cincinnati. Now you may not like Dallas,
you didn't go
but
for
you
Dallas?
know you got to do better
Oh,
than
please do not tell him.
We don't even
Don't tell Danny.
San Diego and Oakland. We all took Oakland. And last but not least, New York and Green Bay. Donna, you took New York. You want to get further behind you. 6-9
I'm not telling
already.
you. I'm telling you. New York.
My tip for you guys, and you look at it, all we want to say is keep the offense, but you need more defense, defense, defense. What is team, very quick, we got a few seconds, what they need to do to win this game, Mike?
I think they got to run the ball. They got to run behind Matt. They've got to occupy as much of that time as they can.
G?
They have to win the game.
There you go. Whatever it takes.
Exactly.
By any means necessary.
Exactly.
Yeah, no mistakes because they're going up against the #1 defense.
Who cares, Donna?
That doesn't
They
matter.
do.
If they play as a team,
No mistake.
they can win this game. One thing this team needs to know is when you play as a team, you eliminate your mistakes, you run the ball, you stop the run, you pass rush, and you pass. It's that simple. And special teams, you add to it.
Oh, it's that
Next
simple.
week, hopefully, we'll come back with a win.
It's no
As you know.
We're coming back with a win.
Donna gonna throw him under the bus anyway, so
never.
we'll never say goodbye. We always say in the minute.
Breast Cancer Awareness Month is October, and we are getting ready for the 3rd annual Pink Ribbon Throwdown on October the 15th. So everybody knows someone that has been suffering with breast cancer, so come on out.
Okay, high school seniors, don't forget the scholarship contest. The essay topic is identify a societal problem and how you would remedy it. And if indeed you are selected as one of the winning essays, there will be 8 laptops in the office.